morning, my name's Fiona. I'm from Elio Moon Arts, and today I'm going to be taking part in a collaboration of a 5 digital item swap from 49 Dragonflies, Luise Heinzl and Rhonda Winstead. This is the hashtag you need to be able to put it up on Instagram if you're wanting to participate. We got 3 digitals, which were free to download from these 3 people. To get those digitals, you'll need to go to each person's page, and I'll show you that in a moment. So this is the digital from 49 Dragonflies, Barbara. And this is the one I'm going to work on first. I've actually done this one before. I actually did it the other day, but when I went to video, I had a few problems. So I'm going to go through and do it again. So this was the tag that I created for Barbara at 49 Dragonflies from her digital download. So this was her digital download. And so now we're just going to jump right into it. So the instructions for this are: create a tag using all 5 elements. The number plates count as 1. So these 3 numbers here are 1 element. You've got your backing for your tag. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5 elements. So using all 5 elements, the number plates count as 1. Add a pop of vibrant colour using paints, cutouts, die cuts, etc. You may use images multiple times by printing more than once. Add a hand-drawn or painted flower or plant somewhere. Add something dimensional from your stash, buttons, lace, packaging, beads, etc. Enjoy. So for this one, I have taken the liberty this time of already creating the tag, and I've actually just backed it onto some light cardstock. Yep, that's what I've did with this. Actually, I've done that across the board with all of them. So now for me, it's about doing a bit of painting and getting this all put down together. So I started off by grabbing these numbers and cutting them out a little fussier than this. And I'm just going to cut these numbers out and then I'll come straight back. Hold on a moment. Okay, I'm back. I just had to do a couple of little things. I wanted to fussy cut those numbers, and then I was just playing around with this design again. So this was the original one. So what I need to do next is I need to actually paint the clock face and these numbers so they get a chance to dry. So I've got some, this is, I have to take the lid off because I can't read it. Colour Shimmer Cube, it's called. It's like a watercolour. It's a Colour Blast. Colour Blast is the brand, I'd say. Colour Shimmer Cube watercolour. So I'm just going to dip my brush into some water, pick up some of this. Hoping I'm keeping this all on in the centre there. I'm just going to pick up some of this shimmer stuff, and I'm just going to colour these. Now, the reason I'm colouring this in the blue is because I noticed when I did this project the first time that all of, well, 2 of these in particular have a bit of a sea theme to them. And so they all had a bit of blue or turquoise and that into them. So what my idea was to make sure that each one of these actually incorporated some of those colours. So, and I really like this shimmery stuff. It looks pretty cool. So I'm just going to paint all of these. Now we are going to move through these quite quickly. If I can figure out how to speed up the video a bit, you may not hear me talking. I may just speed them up and run through them all. I think these are all pretty basic tags. There's nothing exceptional that I've done in them, I don't believe. I think there's stuff that everybody else has done before. Some more blue. The other thing that I have done while I was off camera as well is I've taken a bit of blue cardstock and I've just stuck the clock face down onto it, and you'll see the reason for that shortly. Just to give it a little bit more weight. Okay, nearly done with this, and then we'll set it aside to dry for a little bit. Okay, now just the clock face to go. Okay, do that. The lid back on that. So that's our shimmer paste done. I'm just going to pop these over here so that they can dry off. These ones are just on the printer paper, so I just got to be a little careful with those ones. And I pick them up. I was going to pop them over there and just give them a bit of air underneath them so they can dry. Just going to spray this and give it a wipe over. Just need to get a bit of paper towel. Okay, I'm using this board to try and keep me in focus today so that you can see everything that I'm going to be doing. Need that little bit for later on. Okay, so our next step will be, I'm going to glue this onto the side of the card. So this is going to be quite a big tag. Oops, let's take that off there. Away. I'm just going to pop it on here. I'm just using a card just to take off that excess glue because I wasn't sure how far over it was going to come. I'm just going to push that down really firmly. And I'm just going to grab my my heat tool and just dry this off. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay, I'm back now. This is dry. These are nearly dry. And we're nearly ready to put all of this together. So I need to put a rivet in the top of this one. So in my original one, I've put an orange rivet in here. So I'm just going to grab my kit. Grab an orange rivet. Grab my little platform, so that needs to go down there. That needs to go on there. Get one of these. This one just goes over the top. Yep, that's the right way, that one. And I'm just going to take it just over here, just off camera, and so that I can give it a, put it in place. Okay, so that's in there now. I have, where's my bit of blue ribbon? I've got some here for this one. There it is. So by doing that, it just allows me to put this ribbon in now, and I don't have to wait until later. So I'm just going to start setting this up. So I'm just going to pop my ribbon through for my tag. I've just got this blue spotty bit of ribbon. So now I'm going to do, so the instructions say hand draw some plants or a plant or flower somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand draw, I'm going to put some writing on the side of this first. And I'm going to use a white pen, I think, for this. Hopefully, maybe not that one. Maybe this one. So I'm going to put up here feeding time at zoo. Okay, so now I need to start sticking down some of my elements. So I'm wanting this to be here. I'm just going to place this out so I can see what I'm working with. So I'm going to put my giraffe in there, and it's going to be, the feeding time will be 6:38. So that'll come across there. 6:38. Just going to move that one down a little bit. Might pull this giraffe. I might just have him sitting just on top of that. And I've got my 3 little buttons that I created a while ago. That can go on there. And now I need to do a flower or something in here. So I'm thinking that perhaps I might do a tree this time. I think I did a flower on the last one, but I might do a tree. So I'm going to get, what am I going to do this with? I might just do a line drawing actually. So I'm going to draw a tree. I'll get a different pen to draw with. Too fine. Okay, let's try this one. That tree coming all the way up this page. Under here. So out of all of these ones for the challenge, this one, it's not so much challenging the drawing, it's just this one was probably a little bit time consuming because you had to draw some in some elements. So that made this one take a little longer. I think the most challenging one for me was Rhonda's, because she had some very strict rules in there about what we could use and what we couldn't use in terms of colour. So there's no paint and a few things like that. So it made it just a little tougher to do. Put this one in here. Okay, so now let's start putting this together. Okay, I think I'm going to put my numbers on first. So we said it's going to be, I'm just going to grab a bit of just a stick glue and very carefully place these on. Whoops, and I've just broken that one. Okay, let's put this. And it's done it again. Wow. That's really frustrating. Okay, let's put this back together on here. Okay, it's because this is still a little bit damp. So I've got a little black square here somewhere. There it is. I just put some glue directly on here and stick these down. It might make it a little easier. 6, 3, 8. I'm going to grab my little clock and I'm going to put the same time on it, so it's going to be 6, 30. Oops, should be the little hand. I'm going to put that over here. See how this is all working at the moment. Put my giraffe on up there. Yep, that goes in there. Okay, I'm going to put the giraffe on next. So I'm going to put our giraffe on here. He's going to sit in here. Okay, then we'll put our clock in. Our butterfly on. And now I need to use a little bit of wet glue to put my little embellished buttons on. So I'm going to use some Couture Creations all-purpose art glue, one of my favourite glues to use. So I think I'm going to go a bit like that. Yep. and this one. Two. Up on my channel, if you're wanting to make some of these buttons, I think I've got a video tutorial over there that you can go and have a look at. So that gives it a bit of dimension in our piece. And I think that's it. I think that one's done. I'm just going to fix this up a little bit. I don't particularly like this ribbon very much. It's a bit funny, this one. But so this is the first one I did. It's a little bit bunched up on this one, so I decided to widen it by adding this piece in. And I drew a tree instead of a flower in this one. So let's make sure that I've covered all the directions. Create a tag using 5 elements. I've used the 5 elements. Pop of vibrant colour. Well, I've used the Colour Blast shimmer, which has added a pop of colour. I've used something. I've drawn something. I've drawn a tree, and I've added some buttons which add dimensions. So I think I've covered all of Barbara's from 39 Dragons requests on her challenge. So Barbara, thank you very much. Really enjoyed doing this, and hopefully you guys are going to do another one of these. It was a lot of fun. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next one. So I'm going to move this one out the way because I've got them all sitting here lined up. So the next one I'm going to work on is Rhonda's from Rhonda Winstead. From Rhonda Winstead on YouTube. Okay, so her one is a C-based one. So this is the just take them off there. This is the printable that she's created for us to use. It's very cute. Yeah, the instructions are 5 digital challenge summer 2022 theme ocean. The seashells count as one item, so all of these is just one. You may use the digital more than once. I have used parts of the digital more than once in this project. You must include circles in some ways. You may not use coffee, paint, which includes watercolour, tube, bottle, crayons and markers, or tea in your work. Here is an opportunity to think outside the box regarding colouring. Additional items from your stash are okay that help you with your ocean theme. So I've used the shells. I'm going to be using the shells twice in this, and I think everything else once. So that's it. It's a beautiful digital, I must admit. So this really pushed me to think about what I can use as for colour and things like that. So this was the first tag that I created that I didn't get to videotape and put up because that's just the way it happened. So as you can see, I have all the elements there. So I'm going to try and replicate it as best I can because nothing ever comes out the same a second time. So I've cut everything out. I've actually, tidy up that side of that. I've actually pre-cut a piece of cardstock, which has got a beautiful unicorn on the back. And I've attached the young girls onto this already. So some of the stuff that we're going to do with this one, let's give me a look. So we needed to add a circle and we needed to use, so I have this circle, oops, that's not glued down very well on that one. I have this circle tag that I created, which has a little pocket in it. So I'm actually going to use that on this project. I'm just going to re-stick this down. Okay, living the dream, it says. So it's got a little bit of pink and it's got a little bit of red in it. So the pinks and the reds will be okay because this girl's got this darkish pink magenta colour going on in her hat. And we're going to emphasise that a bit. So the piece of card that I have used for this project is this. I've used all the bottom end of it, which has this sort of design on the bottom of it, which I thought could act like our sand. So what I'm going to do is, where did I just put that? I'm going to put our shell. I'm going to put our seaweed down first, I think. Where is my seaweed gone? Okay, so we've got our seaweed here. So I'm going to put some seaweed, but I want the seaweed to be coming up underneath the little girl's feet because I'm thinking that these girls are picking her up because she doesn't like the feel of the seaweed. Got a bit of a story happening with this one, which was a little fun. Okay, so I'm going to put that on there first. So the seaweed's coming up there and tickling these girls' feet. Okay, so now we're going to add some shells. So I'm just using stick glue. My favourite one to use is actually one from Big W here in Australia. Put that up there. Okay, one of those, and one of these. And we need a turtle. So I'm going to have my turtle sort of coming in around here. He's heading back out to the water. So I'm going to put him on next. Might have him going this way actually. His little arm's going to come off the side of the page a little bit, which is fine. Okay. Now we've got a couple more shells to put in. I think I'm going to put this one over here. This one down here. This one on there. And we should be able to put this over here. Yep, beautiful. Okay, so going to add our shells. Actually, I might put this shell. Oh no, I'm going to put all the shells. So we'll have shells coming out the other things. So we're going to put our shells in. So on this project, I used a couple of little pearly type things to give it a little bit of dimension, a little pop of dimension. So on this one here, I'm going to put the shell on there. And I'm just going to grab one of these little stick-on. So that's not sticking on there very well. I might add a little bit of glue to that. So I'm just putting a bit of glue in there. These are like a flat back pearl. I'm just going to pop that on there just to give a little bit of dimension. Now this one we're going to pop on here. I'm going to use a bit of this glue. About there. Okay, so I'm going to pop this on here. So here's my circle element that Rhonda asked for. And now I'm going, where's my other shell like that one? So I'm going to grab my other shell, this one like here. That needs a little bit of rounding there. Okay, so my other shell like that, I'm going to grab my other one of these little pearl things. Hopefully the sticky stuff will stay on this next one, which would be nice. Right, yep, there we go. So we're going to stick this one on here. Okay, so we're going to pop our little, I'll put my bird on yet, so I'm going to add my shells to this little pocket here. So the girls have been collecting shells and put it in this little pocket, and now all I've got to go is my bird. So I'm going to have him sort of flying off there. Okay, so he can fly off up there, and his wing can come off the edge of the page. A little bit on his tail there. Okay, So this is how we've gone so far. Now to add a pop of colour, I'm using some Distress Oxide Selvage Patina, which I'm going to ink. Put a little bit of it on our bird and around the edges of our project. It's going to put a little bit of that blue into the little bits of lace that are on there as well, and I might even pop a little bit on some of these shells just to introduce that colour all the way through. Okay, and then I thought, well, I wanted a little bit more oomph to this one, and I just thought it was quite a simple card to make. So what I've gone and done is I've gone and grabbed out some, these are liquid drops, these are Couture Creations liquid drops. And I thought, this girl's got a nice little white bonnet on. I might put some little bits in her bonnet. Oh, wow. Glad that. Don't know why that happened, but anyway, we'll fix this up. I presume this stuff is sort of kind of like, I've never used stickles, so I'm not 100% sure, but I presume it's sort of kind of like stickles. It's like a, let's go ahead and pop some of this in her, on her bonnet and give it a little bit of a shine. Just going to add a little bit more of this one, just around that pearl. Just to give it a little bit more bling. Okay. Okay, a little bit down on this side of her bonnet. So now she's got a textured bonnet on. Make sure that's tied up. Okay, so next we're going to go with some of this sea foam, it's called. How appropriate is that for this in particular thing? So I'm going to put, oops, I'm going to wipe that up first before I get this stuff everywhere. Okay. So I'm going to just going to put a little bit of this sea foam around our turtle's head, just a bit around his body, just to give him a little bit of dimension, to make him stand out a little bit from the page. Just wondering whether I've got a different green as well. This is this one might be nice. This is Evergreen. I might just add a little bit of this as well on him. Just to give it a little bit of point of difference. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so now we're going to go in, we're going to do some pink on this little girl's hat. So now she's got a bit of a dimensional type of a hat going on as well. Okay, and then I'm going to use some of this, which is Kingfisher, around this shell. I'm going to go back in with this green one and just put it around the edge just to define some of these other shells. we go. Bit in that seaweed. I might go a bit of that blue in that seaweed as well that comes up here. Okay, so my last little bit of bling on this one will be a little bit of gold, and I'm going to put that on the bottom of the brim of this hat. So that gives us a little bit of texture. And I'm just going to punch a hole here. And I've just got these little off-cut bits of cheesecloth and a bit of string. I'm going to fold it in half, pop it through, oops, pop it through the top up here. And there you go, we have our little card done from our tag made for Rhonda Winstead's digital. I just love these. I think these are so cute. It's just adorable. So we'll let this one dry and we'll move on to our next one. Now the next one was from Luise Heinzl. I love this lady's work. I must admit I'm very, very partial to her work. So this is what she's given us. Create a tag with the items on this sheet. The fish and numbers are one item. So all the fish are one item and all the numbers are one item. Imitate some rust. Real rust is not allowed. Include your own handwriting with a pen medium of your choice. Print a sheet as often as you want and use from your stash and tools what you like. Have fun. So this was a really fun one. I've never really done any really real grungy type stuff, but this is really fun. I really enjoyed it. So this was Liesel's one. So this was the first one that I created from her, and I think I actually forgot to put some rust on here. I'd like to create some rust. I can't remember, but anyway, so this is the one that I did. I actually really like this. It came out really well. So that's what we're going to do for this one. So what I did, so I've backed the tag, I've created the tag, I've using the backing, which is this piece here, off here, and I've made the tag. So that's the first part. I've actually put a hole in the top of the tag, and I need to put a rivet into that. So I'm going to use yellow on this one. So we'll get that sorted again. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm just going to grab my little thing and pop that on there, turn that over, grab a backer for it. Goes that way, and I'm just going to take it over to where my hammer is and pop it on. Where did that go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so getting this one all sorted. Get on there properly. Okay, so now that's got its rivet in. So it says we need to use handwriting. So I've written this little, I've created this little tag. I've just cut a V out the bottom, put a little hole in this, and I might even put a rivet in this one as well. So I might put another one in here. So I might just do another yellow one so that it matches. That down. Little ring on the back. Okay, give me 2 seconds and I'll just punch that one down. Okay, so now we have our thing. So I'm going to thread this through and we're going to do this bit now. So this stuff was really hard to get through, both of these, because this twine is quite thick. pull that down, oops, pull that through, pull that down, hopefully get enough room to poke this one through. Not all of it, okay. That's the end of these. I'm just going to use the end of these really little scissors. I'll try and poke that through there. What I might do is I might just take one of the blue pieces off and just have the blue and white. So if I take one of those off and then twist them, and then we'll just have the blue and white. That should make it a bit easier. Then I should be able to just fold it in half and poke it through both of these at the same time. One, two. So another little bit of the story for this one is I thought, well, this little boy's been fishing. Maybe he's gone into a fishing competition and he can be the winner of that fishing competition today. So there's our little tag, and there's our little thing for our tag. So now I also created this. So I fussy cutted out the fish. This is a piece of this stuff. I don't know where you get it from. A girlfriend gave this to me and I was very grateful. It's really cool to work with. And all I've done is a bit of embroidery floss, and I've wrapped it around the top. And I've used a toothpick and just taken the sharp ends off the toothpick. Pop that in there. And then I've just joined them together. So the construction of this, so I'm not going to use this one because this one's a whole piece. I don't think we really need it on here. I think we can just use this quarter piece. So this is from the last one. So I'm just going to pop that in there. And pop that directly onto our card. Now I've got to create some rust to put onto this one. So let me get this bit down. Some rust. So I am thinking that I'm going to grab my watercolors out and mix up a rusty colour and do some splats on this. So give me 2 seconds to do that. Okay, so this is just a Winsor & Newton palette. Let me have a look. Okay, I've got a paintbrush here somewhere. Oh, I might have put it in. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to use, I don't even know where's my sheet. It's got it on here. What colours have got? No, that's not it. Okay, so I'm just going to grab some paints off here and create a rusty type of colour. Yep, that's pretty good. Maybe add a little bit of this brown into it. Oh, yeah, that's good. So now I've added a rusty element using a bit of watercolour paint. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly turn the camera off and I'm going to dry that so we can move on. Hold on 2 seconds. Okay, I've got that dry now, and now you can see we've got our rusty element on our little thing. I was actually also thinking that I'm going to use a little bit of that colour just on this bit of toothpick that I'm using as his handle for his for his fish carrier. I'm just going to add a little bit into that as well, where it might have rubbed off onto the top of the white of his bag. So that will be right for a little while. So now our next step is, I think I want him to be down here a little lower. So we might glue him on. I really enjoyed this one, Louise. Thank you. It's just a pleasure to play with this one. Okay, so now I'm going to get a little bit of distressed distressed ink, which is walnut stain. I'm just going to grunge up the sides of this a little bit, as you know we all like to. So that's that bit done. Just add a little bit up along the side there. Okay, so now we're going to glue down our numbers. So we're going to have him, this time we're going to have 85 fish he may have caught. Maybe we'll put the 85 down here as the winning number for the fish. Pop that down on there. I did consider making a pocket to put these using these and just adding some pockets, and we'll put the next closest one as 32 and we'll put that just up the very top there. So this, whoever this other guy was, he got 32 fish and this little kid got 85. Here we go, up here. So I would highly recommend that you go and have a look at 49 Dragonflies, Luise Heinzl and Rhonda Winstead. They've actually done these as well, their version of them. So go and have a look and join in the fun. It's great. So now I'm just going to add my little bag of fish. One of my fish just doesn't want to stay in there today. Keeps popping himself out of there. Okay, so I didn't glue the fish into the bag and I didn't glue it onto anything else. So I'm just going to get some of this glue out any minute now. I might have to get a new one. Forgot to turn it upside down. That one's getting very low. I might use a tacky glue. Actually, what about a turbo tacky? Oh, so I've got a Couture Creations turbo tacky. So this stuff dries really quick, which is great. I'm just going to put some of that on there. And one of the things I did like about doing this in particular one was, whilst they all have a little bit of a 3D element, this one in particular, the fish bag moves, you can lift it up. It's a little bit more interactive. But I think this is rather cute. Okay, so these are our 3 finished projects for today. And one more, and this one. So we've got, where have I got that bit of paper? Here we go. 5 digital item swap, summer 2022. Luise Heinzl, Rhonda Winstead, and 49 Dragonflies. So these are what we done. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.